Hello, welcome to Lancaster Connects, the show about small business and small charity success in Lancaster County. Of course, we're showcasing the battle on Main Street, the big versus small, the David versus Goliath, if you will, and of course, highlighting the best of what makes Lancaster so great. Sorry, we're getting started a little bit later than normal. Some technical difficulties, some camera challenges, some intermittent internet issues, but here we are. We're ready to go. Got a great guest. And of course, I am missing my partner in crime. Jeffrey is at home with a sinus challenge today. So hopefully he's resting up and feeling better. Be back strong next week. So you're stuck with me and my shenanigans today. And of course, our great guest, which I will introduce in just a moment here. We'll do less tomfoolery. Tomfoolery solo is not fun. You know, the tomfoolery works when it's Jeff and Ben side by side. So maybe we'll just transfer that to Ross. Ross can be part of the Lancaster Connects tomfoolery. So we do contests here. We have a contest where we're giving away a $25 restaurant gift card, or, and I forgot to do this. Let's call it another technical difficulty. We've got our tumblers and water bottle, less nor more cuddle. It's a new product introduction that we have launched and trademarked, and soon we'll be launching to the world an infomercial, a 30-minute infomercial about the less nor more cuddle products. It was a huge investment for us and a huge undertaking. It's been a year actually in the making, and we'll be ready to show it to the world shortly. And of course, the website, lessnormorecuddle.com, is now active. Shout out to our friend Matt Rhoda from Rhoda Marketing for putting that website together. Lessnormorecuddle.com. It's a fantastic looking website. Matt, if you're looking for a website, Matt's a guest and actually a friend of our guest coming up soon, Ross. Yeah, there it is on the screen, lessnormorecuddle.com. Matt took our vision for what this product is and what the infomercial is, and you actually see little snippets of the infomercial on the website. In fact, the whole thing in its entirety, but he took our vision and built us this completely awesome website. So it was kind of a little sidetrack to mention that, but we've got some neat swag, less nor more cuddle swag that we are giving away to a viewer of the Lancaster Connects podcast. So you can either choose from a $25 restaurant gift card to a nice restaurant in Lancaster, or one of our cool water tumblers or coffee tumblers or water bottles. I love this. 32 ounces keeps your beverage cold or warm. You know, ice water, you fill it up in the morning with ice water. It lasts all day long. Super, super cool. So that's less nor more cuddle. That's our contest. Enter. All you got to do to enter is give us a comment. I don't think I said that. So that is the contest. All you have to, it's super easy. Just comment. Tell us what you like about the show. Tell us what you'd like to improve. Tell us that we should start on time. Whatever. Also like and share this. You can view this on Facebook, on the Lancaster Connects Facebook page, and the Gardener's Mattress and More Facebook page. Also our YouTube pages as well, Lancaster Connects and Gardener's Mattress and More. Personal LinkedIn pages, and on podcast players. You can listen to it while you're driving down the road. Of course, you won't see what's happening on camera in your car. You shouldn't be, at least, but you can listen to it on any of the podcast players. So again, comment during the show. We'll spin the prize later at the end of the show, and we'll determine who the winner is for a coffee tumbler or $25 restaurant gift card. Couple of announcements here. We just wrapped up Memorial Day a couple weekends ago. We've got a fun event at the end of June where we're having a tent event. We've got some distressed inventory, some clearance, closeout, damaged items, those sorts of things. Kim, thanks for tuning in. And yes, we will be talking about some local organizations with our guests today. And of course, future episodes, we love to highlight the nonprofits and charitable organizations and the people doing great things in Lancaster County. But we've got a tent event coming up. We'll talk more about that next week. But it's going to launch, I think, 2 Thursdays from now. We'll have a tent in front of the store, and we'll have a lot of merchandise that we need to move. Everything that's going to be in the tent is going to be half price. So some are brand new products, stuff that we've had for a little bit of time that we need to get rid of. Others may be mattresses that were old floor models or damaged in shipping, just merchandise that you can get a good deal on, get a great night's sleep on, but then, of course, get a great deal on it as well. And then, of course, summer's coming. We are always busier in the summertime, and as people are moving over the summer, and of course vacationing, and maybe having needs for guest bedroom mattresses, that sort of thing, we're your destination for that as well. But I should waste no more time. I should bring on the guest, Ross Stockdale. Ross is somebody that is a fan of the show, reached out to us, and we're going to talk to Ross about his business ventures and the great things that he's doing in the community. But Ross, welcome to the show. Thanks for being on.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here, and glad we got over our technical difficulties and can jump into the show.
Yeah, here we are. We're both in full 1080p for better or worse, I guess, right?
Exactly. We're doing our best to not be grainy for you folks watching.
That's right. That's right. Podcast listeners, it doesn't matter. But we got to have the video perfect. So, Ross, obviously we like to highlight the good things going on in Lancaster County, and of course highlight people doing good things, and some of the things that people are passionate about. We'll talk about your business ventures and what you do, but first let's talk about some of the ways that you give back to Lancaster. You mentioned to me in the pre-show that you're part of the Young Men's Business League of Lititz. What is that, and why are you passionate about that?
Absolutely. The YMBL, for short, the Young Men's Business League of Lititz, is an organization that is not necessarily a 501c3 nonprofit, but we are a social club. And the goal of the club is to bring business people and good members of the community around Lititz that have some tie to Lititz. We have some that are spread out in other states, to come together and provide a place for networking, and in doing so, to fund that organization. We have fundraisers that we do to give back to charities, and one of our proudest is our scholarship fund. So every year, between 1 and 2 or 3 seniors that are meant to graduate and go on to higher learning, we provide $1,000 plus in scholarship funds to them, and we get to do that if they graduate from a school in Lititz. So it doesn't have to necessarily be Warwick.
Okay.
So that is one of our charitable events. But how do we raise money for that? We do the Ken Keener's Great Water Ball Races. So what that is we get, this year we have 1,500 balls, and they are almost they're stress balls.
Yeah.
And you put them into, if you're familiar with Lititz Springs Park, near the fountain.
Yeah. Yep.
So one of our members, Eric Blow, designed and engineered a contraption to hold all of these balls. And we'll have 2 sets of 750 ball races. And basically we sell, I believe it's $5 per ball.
Okay.
And those funds go to our charitable organizations.
Yep.
And the winner gets, it's almost like a 50-50. So the winner gets a cash prize. And last year we had a pretty remarkable turnout. Shout out to the Lititz Record for featuring us. We sold 1,000 balls to help, give back to the scholarship fund. And we're hoping to sell 1,500 this year, and that will be in August in Lititz Springs Park.
Yep.
We're timing it. Last year, we had a bit of competition with the Lititz Craft Beer Fest.
Okay, right.
We don't want to double stack these very important events. And it'll be downtown in Lititz Springs Park towards the middle or end of August.
That's
cool. One of the other ways that we give back this year, we partner with the Lititz Women's Club, to donate either gifts or money for children in need so that they have something to open on Christmas.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
this last year, I believe we raised over $1,500 in a week to give to young girls in Lititz something to open up on Christmas.
That's awesome.
So those are some of the ways we give back at the YMBL.
Yeah. So a couple things. I'm not familiar with the YMBL. How long has that been in existence?
It was started in 1914.
Wow.
So
Okay.
we're 108 years old, and some of
Wow.
our members are near 108 years old. The
Okay.
YMBL, the YMBL is a misleading name. I would say the average age is between 65 and 70-year old.
Okay. Yep.
For a time when I was 27, several years ago, I was the youngest member.
Okay.
So we have a total of 125 members right now. A neat thing is there's three Keeners, three generations that are lifetime members: the grandfather, father, and son,
Okay.
all members. And yeah, we've been around Lititz since 1914. It was just started by some philanthropic business owners wanting to get together and have a clubhouse. We're on 4 South Broad Street, right across from the police station and the Lititz Springs Inn and Spa.
I've seen the signs because you're right down the road and across the street from my favorite record shop, Lititz Music Company. So
Oh, there we go.
You're right there. I know I've seen it. That's awesome.
Cool.
So you have meetings monthly, that sort of thing?
Yes, we have monthly meetings. I'm on the board of directors. I act as the secretary. So I take all the notes and make sure that the message gets out there and help with communications. And we have monthly meetings there to kind of discuss policy and brainstorm for other events. We run a Christmas dinner, and we have several social events like whiskey and cigar night. We have a BYOS, bring your own steak night for a grill. There's darts and pool leagues there, so that we have events to get social and have recreational time. So
that's awesome. And so the seniors that you give an award, I guess you could say, you award $1,000 to 3 different seniors. What do they do to qualify for this gift from the YMBL?
So there's a selection process, and we have several applicants. And because it's Young Men's Business League, nothing against the women, but we stick it to rising men, and they have to have done something remarkable for the community. Typically, there's a lot of athletics going on and community service, and we pretty much choose someone that's looking to do a business-related career path as well.
Sure. So you work to identify those seniors, and I'm sure they can apply somehow. And then you go through a process to select these 3 individuals and then provide them with this scholarship money at the end of the year.
Yep, that's right. Usually,
that's awesome.
It's usually after, right around graduation or before, and then they get it for the next year.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you're targeting young men who have made a commitment to bettering the community in some way. You know, like you said, they've taken on some sort of community service or some sort of personal time investment into making the Lititz community great. That's a good transition. I know you grew up in the Lititz community and or Warwick graduate, I believe. So we've highlighted, part of what is cool about Lancaster Connects is we've got a lot of different and unique communities to highlight. And I don't think we've had any guests specifically talk about Lititz. We've talked about, the Northeast corridor, Denver, Ephrata, we've had the Ephrata Library and Real Services up in Ephrata. Last week we talked about Elizabethtown, but I think you're our first guest that specifically, has specific ties to Lititz. So, what makes, I think everybody knows, some cool things about Lititz, but, in your eyes, what makes Lititz great? What did you feel growing up there, and what makes you passionate about giving back to the Lititz community?
I would say that one of my favorite parts about Lititz, other than it being nominated for having some of the best beer bars in the state, now that I'm of age and can enjoy that, and
Sure.
being nominated for coolest small towns by some travel organization, is you have this feeling that you can walk down Main Street, whether that's 501 or 772, and you're in a Hallmark movie, some sort of back home feel good movie,
Sure.
and it has a small town feel to it with big city energy, with the burgeoning industries of Lititz Mutual Insurance Company being there for well over 100 years. I think it's on the
Yeah,
fifth
sure.
generation now, right down in the center. And then you have the influence of the great things that Dave Stouts has done with the Bull's Head in recent
Hmm.
years, and then
Hmm.
with the Claire brothers, how Claire Global and Atomic and the really music industry scene attracts big city talent to come into
Yep.
our town. Um, back in when I was growing up, we'd ride our bikes into town. There was about a fifth of the traffic, and you could go to Wilbur Chocolate, and then
Hmm.
you could go from Wilbur Chocolate, go across the street to Greco's Ice Cream. And if it was
Yeah.
a
Yeah. Yeah.
hot day, I mean, you'd be struggling to pedal your bike home after all these great snacks. There's a pretzel. So we have a great place in Lititz, and then a square mile radius to get all your snack needs that you could possibly want.
That's right.
And it's incredibly safe. So I always thought there was a time in my life where I wanted to be a police officer, and I go,
Hmm.
well, the Lititz police are probably pretty bored. There's not so much crime there. It's a pretty clean
Right.
area.
Right.
You feel a sense of ease and safety while you walk down that area. And another thing I really like about Lititz is it, parts of it you can feel like you're in the country, and the other parts
Mhm.
you're right. You go down the street south, you're at Target and big shopping centers, right near highways. And then if you go north of Lititz, you can't get cell reception. So I live north of Lititz now, and I make
Yeah.
phone
Yeah.
calls in my car, and every day, hello, can you hear me? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just driving home. You don't really get that sense of being lost in the mountains in a big city. So you get the best of both worlds in Lititz. And I felt like growing up that a lot of enduring relationships I've made have been so just because of how tightly knit the community
Yep.
really is. And I feel like it's my right and obligation to try and give back to it, to a community that I feel very blessed and grateful for, that has given
Mm.
poured into me and and a lot of my other peers. I mean, we have some pretty phenomenal people there. So the community aspect is really neat. And a
Yeah.
lot of it's
That's.
tied together with the Lititz Springs Park too. I mean, you can't
Oh
miss
yeah.
it.
That's a beautiful park. I've become more familiar with Lidditz in the last 5 or 6 years or so because I live in what technically is called Lidditz
Mhm.
from a zip code standpoint, but about as far away from Lidditz as you can be. I'm just south of the airport, like I'm at the border
Okay.
of Lancaster and Lidditz. So I have a Lidditz address, but I wouldn't consider that I live in Lidditz. But because of the proximity, I used to live in Millersville, and then before that in Lancaster City. So we'd go to Lititz every once in a while, but never really became familiar with the city or the community. But being as close as we are now, we're in Lititz all the time, and it's such a neat place to go. I actually prefer going up to Lititz than I do Lancaster City, just because of traffic and ease of getting up there. And like you mentioned, there's so many cool things to do up there. I love sitting on the patio of, well, what used to be General Sutter's Inn. I forget what is
Mhm.
it, Lititz Spring Inn now.
Let's bring in and spa, I
Yep.
believe.
Yep. So the patio is there. The great live music and trivia,
Mhm.
and then of course Bull's Head. The neat feel of that. And then you mentioned Main Street. Pro tip. Um, I did all of my wife's Christmas shopping on Main Street.
Oh
Like,
wow.
you just go down Main Street and you pop into all the stores and you're like, oh yeah, this is everything that my wife would appreciate in a
It,
Christmas gift.
funny story. The first time I drove through Lititz with my fiance, she we were actually driving to settlement for our first house,
Okay.
and she calls me from the her car behind me, and she goes, "I'm mad at you." I'm like, "Why? We're about to buy a house." She goes, "You never took me here before." So
Yeah.
so I didn't even think about it because she had lived north of Harrisburg. I was living in Lancaster City at the time. We just happened to drive through Lititz, and she goes, "This is the cutest stinking town I've ever been in."
Yep.
Because I can't believe you never taken me here. So of course I was also her realtor at the time. So
Okay.
as the closing gift, I took her out to dinner in Lititz, and we walked down and did the shopping in the shops, and she was just very, very happy afterwards. And
Yeah.
we went to Blackworth for dinner, and she goes,
Okay. Yep.
"This might be the best steak I've ever had." And I said,
Oh, very nice.
"Well, I know where to take you on special occasions."
That's so cool. And it's not just that they have shops downtown; they're unique shops too.
Mhm.
And Kim just
Savory
mentioned.
Gourmet, I highly
Yes,
recommend.
I was going to say the original owner of Savory Gourmet. I sold a mattress to them like 10
Oh,
years ago, and never was familiar with the shop before that time. But I've gone in there a handful of times. All kinds of interesting meats and cheeses, stuff you won't find in your normal grocery store. That's for sure.
right.
Um,
Hmm.
an awesome testing or not. Can you hear me, Ross?
I can hear you now.
Okay, all right. So I cut out there for about 10 seconds. I don't know if I'm having an internet issue or what, but you mentioned Wilbur Chocolate. I know that's changed a lot with downtown. The original factory's not there, and it's turned into a beautiful hotel. And the restaurant you mentioned,
Mhm.
Blackwell. But I was down in Rock Hall, Maryland for the weekend, little trip with my family, and they were advertising on one of the shops there. One of the shops window that they had Wilbur Chocolate. So I'm like, oh, Wilbur Chocolate. There they are, Lititz. So yeah, cool stuff. I mean, Lititz is a really, really neat community. And yeah, they've gotten kind of on the national radar with the, coolest small town in America. Has a lot going for it and a lot of things to do. So thanks for sharing. And of course, thanks for what you do to give back through the YMBL and other efforts there. Switching gears a little bit. You have a few business ventures that I'd like to talk about. First being the Perpetual Equity, I should say it right, Perpetual Equity Group. You founded the Perpetual Equity Group, is that correct?
Yes, I am a co-founder. We have 4 total members, 3 of which founded it in September of 2019.
Okay, interesting time. Like 6 or 7 months before COVID, right?
Yeah, it was a very interesting time. In September of 2019, the economy, I think I paid $1.86 per gallon for gas.
Uh-huh.
At that time, I had just started going in business for myself full time as a marketing consultant.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend from college, Jesse Greider, is now my business partner and very close friend, reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'd like to go out with you for lunch. I have a business idea. I need help with a website." So I upsold the website into being an equal partner and founder. And we did the operating agreement a week later. So middle of September. And within 6 months, I had gotten my real estate sales license. For a little bit of background, my grandfather and father have been in commercial real estate for probably a total of 60 years combined.
Oh,
So
wow.
I always thought that I was going to get into the real estate and commercial space, and they always told me, no, 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 don't do that. So of course, like any good son and grandson, I didn't listen. And I got my license on February 13th and was working as the investment side, really just drinking from the fire hydrant, learning as much as I could,
Sure.
actively seeking investors and capital raise and looking for financial institutions. We found a deal for 218 apartment units. So going from 0 to 218 doors was my first deal. And
Okay.
I had a pipeline of 10 people that was basically giving me a verbal commitment to either buy or sell real estate with me. So I was working all of that, and at that time I also had a marketing agency that had 10 monthly recurring clients, and I
Yep.
had a team of like 3 subcontractors. So
Yep.
we were pretty decent. Oh, I had a lot going on in
Yep.
March, February. My
Of
father's
2020.
birthday of 2020.
Of 2020. Yeah.
So my father's birthday is March 13th,
Uh-huh.
and he and I were in our real estate office. It was a Friday. And I said, "All right, Dad, for your birthday, let's go to the YMBL and shoot pool. We'll have some fun, have a beer." And we submitted our LOI, which got accepted for that real estate deal. And
Mhm.
on Monday, we were told that the economy was shut down, real estate's not essential, basically don't come in the office.
Yep. Stay
So
home.
I had 10 real estate deals, 10 marketing and consulting clients, and 218 doors from a commercial standpoint for Perpetual Equity Group, short version as PEG. So all that business off the table. What a weird time.
Yeah. Yeah. To say to say it nicely. What a
Yeah.
weird time. So what happened? What did you do?
Well, I was it was a full bull market mentality at that time. I went all in
Mhm.
to start those businesses, and um I just invested all of my personal money that I had saved
Mhm.
and my 401k, and I was reinvesting all my money back into the businesses and
Yep.
getting that whole thing going. So I remember a time in April where I realized that, oh wow, I'm not going to get a paycheck for 5-6 weeks. I had $7 in my checking account,
Uh-huh.
and I said, all right, well, I vowed to never do this, but I guess I'm going to do it. Started applying for jobs to work for somebody else. And one of the companies was called Intrepid International over in New Holland.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
remember it had a very weird logo. It looked like a chess piece. And I was like, okay, let's give this a try. So intrepidintl.com. And the owner at the time, who's a founder, gave me a call on a Thursday afternoon at noon. And he goes, hey, I just saw your application. Would love to have you
Mhm.
in for an interview. I was like, when? He goes, right now. So I got there at 1 o'clock.
What are you doing now?
So I left my house in Lancaster City, drove to New Holland, got there around 1 o'clock. By 1:30, he was telling me that the money I raised for the real estate was as much as he wanted to sell his company for before I even got a job offer. And I had my first private equity deal lead, started getting nurtured. So I said, okay, technically I'm not working for I'm only working for something for a short term. There's a planned exit until I buy the company. So it was the weirdest job interview of my life.
Yeah, they don't happen like that very often.
And we talked for 2 hours and had a really great intro. And he had started this business. He was a United States Marine Corps veteran
Hmm.
in Vietnam. And when he got back from Vietnam, he started a sewing factory in San Diego. So this business is like 53 years old
No
in
way. Wow.
2020, and he started it. So COVID hit it really hard, really
Mhm.
the industry and everyone very hard.
Yeah.
And he was kind of looking for a succession plan and an exit. And I was looking to really help the digital marketing because that was my background. And a week before this all happened, my business partner Jesse goes, I do chief financial officer outsourced work as a service, and we do management consulting, and we turn around businesses. Why don't we switch from real estate to private equity? So a week later, I had our first deal. To
Okay.
spare you the painful details, uh, 14 months after that interview, almost to the day, we closed and we bought the company.
Hmm.
So Perpetual Equity Group had its first um, asset under management, and then that was from a week from today. That'll be a year ago, and we've secured I believe six other acquisitions with two more in the pipeline. So we'll have a
Okay.
total of 8 total assets under management.
That's awesome.
So I went from $7 in my checking account to being one of the majority partners in a company that's going to do 10 million in revenue.
Very cool.
So that was my post COVID journey, which I would have never predicted to be the
No,
case.
no. And I mean, you had no ties to the equestrian industry at all before that, right?
None,
Right.
zero.
Right. But now you're fully in it, right?
Oh, I love the ride. I'm fully in it.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, I've never met a more passionate bunch of professionals than the
I'm sure.
equestrians.
I'm
They
sure.
definitely love doing what they do, and we don't. So we sell everything but the horse is our tagline. What that
Right.
means is we'll sell you a saddle, we'll sell your horse supplements, healthcare products. We sell like apparel, helmets, boots, socks, you name it. At one point, we had 23,000 SKUs, but it's a huge market. I learned that the equestrian industry as a whole is larger than Hollywood by a multiple. Um,
Wow.
so I learned a lot in the last 2+ years.
Yep. So the staff that the previous owner had, were they all retained and everything?
So we have a very different philosophy than most private equity companies.
Mm,
We are relationship driven, and we think that by nurturing and fostering strong relationships and building positive goodwill, like all business is done between people. So
yep.
we had made some promises in the contract that we were gonna like everyone that wanted a job got to keep their job. And really, I would say that 99% of all the staff from the moment we acquired the company, like still had their job, could choose to
Mhm.
stay on. We kept most of the staff. The thing is, though, with the company that was that age, a lot of them were 65 years old and older
Mhm.
and already
Yep.
had planned a retirement. So we do have a lot of the former staff here, and some did retire, which is natural. But
Yep.
yeah, we really look at how we can um, get the most out of people from improving their quality of life. We've increased payroll dramatically by probably over 30%
Hmm.
by giving people much better wages. And we found that by treating people really, really well, they'll treat our company really well in return.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we feel that here. We're blessed with a great staff. We have a much smaller crew than you need there. Yeah, I mean, you got to take care of your people, and the business gets rewarded by that generosity. It really does.
Totally agree.
So, what are some of the other types of companies that you're involved in? You mentioned some of the others. Do you want to mention what some of
Sure.
those other ones are?
Yeah, absolutely. The logo you see below is our startup marketing agency, Perpetual Marketing Group. We
Hmm.
started that at the beginning of the year with another partner of actually, it was my friend of mine, graduated from Warwick High School, fellow YMBL member, Adam Chapis, a Warwick wrestler. So we started Perpetual Marketing Group. Um, that was in, I would say, end of February, let's say March 1.
Hmm.
And since then, I believe we do between project work and recurring clients, we've served about 12 businesses since then.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we do, we really try to do boutique digital marketing as a service and really support other digital marketing agencies and business owners locally while giving a unique approach to solving a lot of problems. Like I don't want to compete with everybody over just selling websites for
Hmm.
a high value
Right.
or charging for Google ads as a tactic, a one-off service. We kind of mimic one of our sister companies, Charling Consulting, is another one of our portfolio companies in Perpetual Equity Group.
Hmm.
That's an outsourced CFO business. So
Mm.
Perpetual Marketing Group we look at as our branding, marketing, PR firm, and Charling Consulting as our CFO. And we want to really give a personalized relationship and provide CFO as a service and CMO as a service for companies that just don't have a marketing guy or they need someone to manage it but they can't afford an in-house CMO, which could be $100,000 a year.
Right.
So we basically try to say, hey, for a third of the price or a half the price, depending on the size of the company and the needs, we'll give you that role. And we have a staff of we have 3 partners, and we have a pretty long roster of contracted and partner employees from a 1099 perspective to really service businesses. So Perpetual Marketing Group, Charling Consulting has been a boutique CFO agency
Yep.
for quite some time. They focus on the insurance, but they also help with mergers and acquisitions, which really helps Perpetual Equity Group.
Mhm.
They also help with backroom analysis, full backroom. So they provide our accounting and finance to all of our portfolio companies. And then I think those are our service companies. We're about to acquire a 3PL as a service. So doing pick, pack, ship, warehousing,
Mhm.
and fulfillment
Mhm.
for customers. Did I lose you there?
No, I'm still here. Yep.
Oh, you're still here. And so 3PL is to be coming soon. We're about to acquire a manufacturing company
Wow.
uh, nationally. So we want to do a lot more made in USA, specific to the equestrian industry, but looking to open that up into more textile and sewing.
Wow. Very
That's
cool.
in the pipeline for next 90 days under agreement. What else we've closed is we've bought two other equestrian companies that are brands that we're
Mm.
looking to grow and help them to sell and manufacture. And then we have two companies in the cannabis space. So one
Oh,
in
interesting.
Oklahoma and one in New Mexico. Nothing local.
Yep.
And I believe that covers it all. And
I
maybe
I
missing something.
I'd say you've had a busy 2 years and 3 months
Yeah.
since March of 2020.
I sold just shy of 10 houses in that time too. But I'm having my first little one. I'll have my first
Uh,
child in August. So
yeah,
I said
congrats.
something's got to give, and I just put my real estate license in escrow, and
Yep.
maybe that'll be a path I cross later. But too much for now.
Yeah. 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 Well, congrats to you. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Do you know if it's a boy or girl?
I'll have a baby girl.
That's awesome. That's awesome. My first, I have two. First is a girl, and she's now almost 13 years old. So
Okay.
you'll probably hear it over and over again. You blink and it's gone. I'm starting to feel that she's got like what 5 more years at home, and it's like whoa,
Oh wow.
where'd that time go? But yeah, enjoy it. So a lot to talk about. You're yeah, like I said, you've had a very busy 3 months or 3 months, almost 3 years. I mean, kudos to you and all that you've done and built and created there. You also, in your spare time, I guess, have a podcast. What's that about? What is it called? When does it air? What do you talk about? Who do you bring on? That sort of thing.
Sure. So the PMG Pod is the name of our podcast, and so far, I believe we have 19 episodes live, and we are looking to probably publish another two or so this week. We really started at the beginning of April, and we're looking to have several types of people, but really the goal is to preserve, enrich, and grow businesses that are either local to central Pennsylvania
Hmm.
within the equestrian industry or of people that we think have really remarkable character that we want to highlight them and their business. We think that they stand for something really great. So,
That's awesome.
three niches that we really support. Um, we have Bobby Ream, Robert Ream recently. Our mutual connection, Matt Rhoda, came
Yep.
on. Matt, I've known from digital marketing industry for I don't
Yep.
know, been following him for 10 years.
Yep. He's
Just an
great.
awesome guy. So the goal really is to create some marketing content on YouTube that when someone searches someone's name, they can have something they're proud of
Yep.
if someone looks them up. And we've had a lot of fun doing it and really creating connections and getting people to just I feel like the hardest thing for someone to market is typically themselves. So
Hmm.
I want to assist someone in marketing themselves.
Yep.
For a lot of business owners, their name is equal to or more valuable than their brand. Um, their company sort of
Yep.
follows their name. So that is a lot of the strategy behind the PMG Pod. And I just want to do good work for free and for no charge to anyone and put out good content marketing to the world and hopefully someone gets inspired or makes a connection or
Yep.
you know really has their reputation bolstered.
That's awesome. I mean, that's exactly why we have the Lancaster Connects podcast, you know, highlighting small businesses, small charities, nonprofits, sometimes people that might not be all that well known. We've talked before, like United Way. Everybody knows United Way, but not everybody knows North Star Initiative. Who help young women with who are in the sex trafficking world. Just that's just one example. Power Packs. All the different charities and nonprofits. There's so many in Lancaster that so many people that are doing great things, and of course business owners giving back to their community, like you with the Lititz community, and giving them a voice in the community, and and our listeners may not be familiar with the organization, and then now they have an association and somebody that they can support, and maybe somebody could be inspired to do their own, whether it's a startup or just give back in their own community, or find a nonprofit to volunteer with. There's tons, hundreds and hundreds of opportunities for people to give back, and all they need to do is become aware of it. So, I love that you're doing that you're giving back to other small businesses and other people, and highlighting them. So that, again, kudos to you. You've got so much going on, and you find time to give back to others through your podcast as well. That's very cool.
Yeah, and strangely enough, it makes me feel really good.
Yeah,
feeling
sure.
good makes you feel good. So I encourage everyone else to figure out how they can do that and also give back, because it makes what you might not think, or I might not think is a big deal, somebody else might, and every opportunity to take that should be taken.
Well, that's it. Yep. Same thing with us here. Like we don't have to do this podcast. It costs us money to do the podcast. It takes time to put the show together. Yep. Work through technical difficulties, whatever it is, but it does feel good to support other businesses, support other people, and then of course ultimately support the Lancaster community. So very cool. Well, our time's not quite up yet. We're going to do our connection cocktail, which is getting to know you a little bit better. So there we go. There's our fun graphic.
Oh,
cool. Chris mentioned some music. Eventually, we'll go, like, we'll take the connection cocktail to the next level and have some music behind that. So, first question, Russ. We talked a little bit about growing up in Lititz and that sort of thing. But what is your favorite thing to do in Lancaster County? It can be in Lititz. It can be anywhere else. What's your favorite thing to do in Lancaster?
Wow. My favorite thing to do in Lancaster County.
Tough.
There's a lot of them. I would say my favorite thing to do in Lancaster County is probably.
I mean, you mentioned some of them earlier. The bars, the craft beers. The things that you like there. But
my favorite thing to do in Lancaster County is probably to spend time in downtown Lititz.
Okay.
With friends and family, and just connect with people, whether that's at the YMBL club, or whether that is at Bull's Head, or going to Wilbur, Blackworth. I just really think that I've been to a lot of cities and traveled and been out to dinner to a lot of places, but I really enjoy spending quality time with my friends and family in Lititz.
Yeah, well, that's cool. I mean, you have a unique scenario because you grew up in Lititz. You saw what it was 20, 25. I don't know how old you are, but 30 years ago, whatever. And then you've grown up with the city, and then of course you have it for your future too. So that's really cool. It's not often that you have somebody that spends their life and can see the city grow and interact with it. So you have old memories and future memories to create. Very cool. What, and this can be self-serving, this is question number 2. What annual event do you like to go to?
Oh, what annual event do I like to go to?
In Lancaster,
the water ball race.
Well, that's what I was saying. It could be that, but it could be something else too.
I think the Roots and Blues Fest in Lancaster City was really cool. Yep. That might have been one of my favorite events to go to. Yeah, I would say that one's the coolest.
That's awesome. That I've always seen that promoted. I've not participated myself. I always make the excuse that I have kids and not a lot of time to do those sorts of things, but that's just an excuse. It always looks super, super cool. A lot of different musicians over a lot of different venues. So that's a cool one. Just to go back and talk about the water ball race. So everybody that wants to participate buys a ball and you get your name on it, sort of thing, and then you dump them in the.
I believe we cut deals where I think it's 5 balls for $20 or 1 ball
Okay.
for $5. And then we essentially can say, hey, each ball has a number on it.
Okay.
So, if you buy a ball, your number gets associated with your name, your contact
Makes sense.
details.
Yep.
And you kind of root for your ball.
And it floats down the.
And it floats down, and you can cheer for your ball. I mean, it's hard to know which one is which.
Right.
Perpetual Equity Group sponsored this year's ball, so they're all going to have our logo on them.
Okay.
And so I'm rooting for all of them.
Right. They're all winners.
They're all winners to me. So that's an event that I think is going to be really special just because of, Ken Keener Senior. He's got to be in his 70s, 80s. If he's 90, he looks really good for 90. Is battling cancer, and this guy shows up to the YMBL with his oncology doctor, and still there all the time, just trying to get the scholarship fund together. And I'll tell you what, if you're not a person that gets inspired by somebody that finds meaning in helping others, then don't meet Ken Keener. But if you are that person, does get inspired by people that look to help others, go see him. He'll be at the race. And then it's really cool to see the random kids that are at the park and get so excited. You'll have kids screaming at these balls, and it's their parents' skin in the game, whether they win or not.
Right.
But they don't care. I mean, they get all excited, and we were blessed with great weather.
That's cool.
So one of our initiatives this year as well is we like to throw a chicken barbecue to really spice it up.
Okay.
Jesse, aside from being a wonderful finance professional, could probably be equally as good at doing barbecues. So bring a lot of chicken.
Good skill to have.
Yeah, so that'll be a fun event in Lititz in August.
And so you have a date. What is the date? August?
I would really have to look it up. I want to say it's the 13th.
Okay. Yep. So the second weekend in August.
Second or third week in August, yeah.
Yep. And is it a Saturday or Sunday? I'm putting you.
We're gonna call it Saturday.
Because I think it would be fun to participate and bring my kids.
Yeah, absolutely. We can connect and participate.
That's awesome. So final question, maybe a little easier. Are you a Turkey Hill guy, Sheets, Rudder, or Wawa?
Well, the company that I've spent the most money at would have to be a tie between Turkey Hill or Sheets. Okay. But if I needed to get food from somewhere, you got to go to Wawa for their hoagies. They have the best hoagies.
Yeah. Yep. Do you have a favorite hoagie? Is there one? That's...
they used to do. I don't know if they still have it. They used to do the Thanksgiving hoagie with the turkey and cranberry and stuffing.
Yes.
And that was it. That was everything for me. That's all I needed.
Okay. That's the first we've heard of that on this podcast. That sounds fantastic, gosh. And I remember them having that available.
I couldn't recommend it enough.
There you go.
I'm actually starving just thinking about it. Unfortunately.
Yeah, right. You're gonna run to Wawa. Yeah, you're right. It's probably like a Thanksgiving thing. They probably only have it available. It's like the McRib. It comes out every 5 years.
It's like the McRib.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a good analogy.
Well, that's awesome, Ross. Great. Talking to you on the show, learning more about you, and the cool things you do in the Lititz community. And again, thanks for sharing out the Lititz community and your business ventures, Perpetual Equity Group. Tell our listeners and viewers how they can connect with you if somebody wanted to connect with either the Young Men's Business League or your business, Perpetual Equity Group, and other related companies. How can they connect with you?
Great question. So to connect with me, just type in Ross Stockdale. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You'll find probably the same picture across everywhere. To get to YMBL, our website, we have a portal it's at rockcandy.knack.com/YMBL
Okay.
home. But just reach out to me and I'm happy to send an application and get more information.
That's awesome.
Find us on YouTube at the PMG Pod. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts if you like to listen there.
Yep.
And then, go to perpetualequitygroup.com if you want to contact later. I'm always good by my email, ross@perpetualequitygroup.com. And just happy to get in touch with someone. And what I really want to do is help people. So if anything
Very
that I'm
cool.
involved with can help you, let me know, and I'm happy to help.
Awesome. Well, again, Ross, thanks for being on the show. I'm going to wrap up the show here another 5 minutes. You're welcome to hang out in the background, or if you have to disconnect and go ahead and do that. But again, thanks for being on here with us. And it was great to connect.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Ross. All right. So wrap up the show here. I actually get to do the sleep tip today, and it's going to be a simple one. So I mentioned earlier with Ross, I went to Rock Hall, Maryland for the weekend with the family, Chesapeake Bay area. I've only been down that way a couple times, but it's a really neat area. I know a lot of people from this area vacation or have vacation homes in the Chesapeake Bay area, but nice, quiet community, some neat shops. And we had a good time. But my sleep tip is kind of related to traveling in general. Anytime we go away, and I've trained my kids to remember to do this. Bring your pillow. Your pillow obviously is an integral part of your sleep system. A lot of people think of their sleep as just their mattress. Of course, sheets, mattress protectors, everything coordinates to getting a good night's sleep, and probably as essential as the mattress itself is your pillow. Actually, if you take your pillow and just kind of like this and roll it down your mattress from head to toe, you'll realize that the pillow is actually 1/4 of your sleeping surface, and it supports some of the most important parts of your body. So obviously your head, neck, and shoulders. So having the right pillow, having it fit the way you sleep, whether you're a back sleeper or side sleeper, might affect your pillow choice. But don't leave your pillow at home if you can at all help it. Obviously, if you're flying, you might not be able to take a pillow with you. Some people have travel pillows that are smaller versions of their main pillow. But if you're in a car, on a car trip, and you have the ability and space in your car to pack your pillow, do it, because you will sleep much better in your vacation home or wherever you're going if you have your own pillow. You're not going to be able to take your mattress with you, so you can't sleep exactly like at home, but keep your pillow with you, and it'll help your head, neck, and shoulders during your trip. Testimonial time. Gardner's Mattress and More. You see our team there in the background. It looks like they are bagging a mattress to deliver tomorrow. It's likely that somebody bought a floor model and got a great deal because they bought a floor model. And I teased it at the beginning. We have a tent sale coming up at the end of June, where we will have more of the same sort of deals, floor models, discontinued merchandise, got a bunch of stuff that, usually we do these once or twice a year clear outs. And we've got a lot of stuff that we're going to put in the tent starting 2 weeks from now, about a week and a half actually from now. But highlight our shout out to our staff. They do a great job. Here's a handwritten testimonial that came in sometime over the weekend. I opened the mail this morning, and always love getting handwritten reviews and feedback from our customers. This is Jeff, not business partner Jeff, but Jeff, our customer Jeff from Lancaster, said that Andy was extremely helpful and he provided a lot of information I was curious about without me having to ask. So, a lot of times customers come in and they have their own list of questions, whether they're written down or in their head that they want to ask. But our process to help fit you to the mattress that works best, we go through these commonly asked questions, if you will. We want to make sure that we've thought through all the steps and all the things that we need to ensure that you get a great night's sleep. So Jeff explained his sleep pattern to Andy, and Andy directed me to the type of mattresses he thought would be comfortable for me. He also suggested using a topper. Some people will buy a topper to put on an existing mattress to maybe make it more comfortable. Other times a topper can be purchased with the new mattress, maybe a firm mattress, and put a little softer topper on top to get a little bit of pressure relief on the surface. It's a neat kind of trick, if you will. You almost have two mattresses in one if you use a topper on top of a firm mattress. You have a softer surface, but you can also take the topper off in times where you want maybe a firmer mattress underneath. So Andy and your delivery team were very professional and courteous. I would definitely recommend your store. So thank you, Jeff, for your handwritten testimonial, and of course your business and trust in gardeners in a great night's sleep. Podcast producer Chris is playing our video. Man, that's somewhat of a blast from the past. This was a video that the newspaper, Lancaster newspaper, put together for us because we were voted favorite mattress store in the Reader's Choice voting from 2016. There's wow, that's a few less gray hairs ago. Oh my goodness. But we are now on our 13th going this year. We just had our voting for the 13th year in a row. Reader's Choice favorite mattress store in Lancaster. So it's just it's neat to see that blast from the past. But people tell us all the time that we impacted their sleep, we helped their sleep, and that we're doing a good job. And just kind of like Ross mentioned, people are everything. We couldn't do what we do here. Jeff and I couldn't do this podcast, and wouldn't receive feedback like this if it wasn't for our great team in the background. So everybody does a fantastic job, and we couldn't be more proud of the team and the support we get from them. So almost wrapped up here. Chris, I don't think we need to do the prizelator. We can do it as a symbolic gesture, I guess. But we had one comment today. Kim commented a few times. Kim looks like she enjoys the Lititz area and recommended taking the family to Second Friday. So Kim, we appreciate you watching today and your feedback. Kim, if you'd like to stop by Gardener's Mattress and More, we're on Plaza Boulevard behind Park City Mall. We're attached to Vanscoy, Maurer, and Bass Jewelers. Come in, let us know that you are a winner of a gift on the Lancaster Connects podcast. You can choose from one of our fancy Less Nor More Cuddle tumblers or water bottles, or we have a number of $25 restaurant gift cards. You can choose one of those as well. So whatever gift you'd like, go ahead and do that, and stop by, and we'll get you your gift. That's it. That's a wrap. Thanks to our guest. Oh my goodness. Ross Stockdale. Wow. Sorry, Ross. That was a total brain fart. Ross, thank you for being our guest today, Ross Stockdale, and Perpetual Equity Group, and his other business ventures. I love that he talked about the Young Men's Business League of Lititz. Really didn't know much about that, so that's pretty cool. The Great Water Ball Race coming up in August, and I love that they support the kids, the young men of the Lititz community with the scholarships and some of the other ways that they give back. So very cool guest. Go ahead and support Ross, and tune in every Monday at 2:00 wherever you get your podcasts. Of course, Facebook, Lancaster Connects, and Gardener's Mattress and More, and of course YouTube as well. So thanks so much. Tune in next week. Got a great guest next week. You'll have to stay tuned to see who it is. Have a great day. Have a great day, everybody. A great week, and we'll see you next Monday at 2:00. Thanks.